Today I took a $10,000 long position on Bitcoin for the short-term price action. I'm going to show you guys what that position currently looks like, and I'm going to show you guys why I took it, my expectations on it going forward, and why I don't want anyone to copy this trade. And we're going to jump straight into it right now. First of all, to go over the position and the details before we get into the price action and some technical analysis on Bitcoin. The position, there's two transactions to it because if it was executed with partial shares as well. But it was $10,000 invested. It went up a little bit before market close. So I'm up $121.05 as of US market close with 195.274 shares. This was purchased today. $51.20 is the average share price. And the reason I really didn't really publicate that when I did, and I don't publicate a lot of my trades that I take, short-term trades, just because I really, really want someone to take this as like a motivational reason. I really, I really hope someone can like message me on Instagram or on Twitter and say, hey, you're wrong. I can trade without any FOMO or hype, influencing the trade or any kind of, emotional trading that isn't recommended. And I really, really want someone to say that and show me and be like, hey, I'm a relatively new trader and I'm trading based off of, you know, fundamental reasons like technical analysis and value gaps and any kind of support and resistances, RSI. It can be any indicator and any mix of indications you have to buy and sell instead of purely relying on FOMO, hype, or any news article out there that's influencing some kind of transaction to be made. And I just really, really want people to like be showing me that like, hey, even though someone's new or even it's been around for a while, that you can trade without hype or you can trade without a lot of these like emotional elements that are influencing a lot of terrible trades, and you're getting out and you're getting in trades regardless of your P&L because of this reason, and it's not going to be based on emotion. I really, really hope someone shows me how like serious they are about trading, because that's really like the barrier wall from like amateur trading that takes losses a lot to a mature trader that has their real reasons on why they're buying and selling. But really, to get into the position here real quick though, there's been a lot of influence, and it could be the rally that we've seen, but we know that there's like Russia-Ukraine negotiations, and this just positivity has an influence on a lot of asset prices. It really does, and we've seen a lot of volatility influenced because of that. And then we finally have realistic articles coming out that are factoring in the recent rally that we've seen for quite a bit now that hasn't had a proper retracement, like I've been saying in so many videos, where this article is basically saying to like be careful with longs because the risk of Bitcoin going back to 100K. What I think it means is below 100K for a little bit of time. Look right here, it says retest 91K. Is they're being realistic and they're actually throwing out cautious news, which I really like to see. And on the 24-hour liquidity heat map on this won't be Binance BTC USDT. We don't really have a lot of walls holding us back from making maybe retesting previous highs or maybe going up and retesting all-time high, which will be around right here. There's really nothing stopping us from that. And then if you just factor in like the bigger picture, like we do have a lot of we do have a potential resistance area right there, which will be a little bit below all-time highs to just keep an eye on. And then in the bigger time frame, we don't really have anything holding us from going down and then creating future support areas down here. But of course, this updates quite frequently, and this tomorrow will be much, much different than it is right now. But it's this is so important. Like this should be another sign to be super cautious right now and understand the bigger pictures. But I'm gonna get into the actual chart right now and why I took that position, what I'm looking at going forward, and just what I'm personally doing. So again, this is the 1 hour candle time frame, And what we have is that we just have this really, really strong consolidation move sideways. I slept in today, so I couldn't. When the price came down, I updated the retracement area to factor in the rest of this move that we've seen here recently. So I overslept. I wasn't here to begin accumulating the moment the price broke below this 0.38 at 102,300 basically. I failed. It's just, I missed out on that. Regardless of the RSI not bottoming out, we would like to see the RSI bottom out when we start, continuously bottoming out when we start seeing a bearish break of trend. But I missed out on this, unfortunately. But I did get back here right at market close. The US market close was right here in this candle. This was the last hour of US market open. And the reason I got in here instead of waiting to see if the price will come down and try to fill in this imbalance right here, or even not just fill in this imbalance, but try to find support at the 120 moving average. The reason I didn't do that is because we have this like interesting pattern, and where we're seeing like these higher lows and the micro pictures being supported very, very well. We did find support right here at this retracement area, but regardless, we broke below the swing low and failed to retest this previous swing low. Instead, the price went up higher. When I looked at the chart, we were already pushing up a lot more, and we kind of maxed out. So at this time, the price was right here. And this, if you're looking at this on the 4 hour time frame, or even the 2 hour time frame, there's like really, really good imbalance right here. And the price found resistance right at it, where it filled in the entire imbalance, came down. The reason I got in is because we have this we still have this bullish trend where we're not having a bearish, breakdown. And in that case, what I've been saying in so many other videos is that until we have a bearish break of structure, any fair support, or especially, any fair support that's backed by previous strong, uptrends, shouldn't it's completely fair to take advantage of these trades and have a tight stop loss. For me, of course, I want to see this area filled completely, especially if I'm expecting the price to come down into this area. I would like to see this filled completely. So my stop loss is quite a hefty ways down. It's not too far for my own personal taste. I'm only in 10K on this, so I'm not trying to get out a lot sooner rather than later. I have my stop loss down here because if it gets triggered, I'm expecting the price to try to find support down here and have sort of a where it comes down, trades within this area for a little bit before it comes down into the red and then goes up much, much higher. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking advantage of any more potential upside with a tight stop loss to manage positions well, because all-time high is this blue line right here. And the moment we come up into this area, it can either act as a strong resistance or it can fuel an incredible amount of buying that'll push us into this green area right here, where we can easily see 110K broken and briefly break into this green fib extension area, which will be the next overall major leg up higher. Now, I'm not expecting that to happen, and instead I'm expecting potentially all-time highs to be retested before we see this red area, as long as we're holding a higher low structure, which we currently are. And with that being said, I continue to accumulate as long as the price is holding above the 120 moving average, because as long as it's doing that, at this point now, if the price were to come down into the 120 moving average, we will see this RSI get a lot of support pressure on the lower end of it. But not just that, even though the price was attempting to retest previous swing high right here, it never maxed out to the upside either. So there's, we're still seeing a lot of this high volume indecisiveness in Bitcoin, which is why I'm taking advantage of small dips. I'm up like 100 something bucks right now. And we can easily see this keep trending higher, or maybe come in early tomorrow morning as the market opens. Quick dip early morning, like we see it happen a lot before it pumps up and then tries to retest any significant resistances that we have ahead of us. But with that being said, my overall view and my overall just kind of thesis on Bitcoin right now is very important to conserve capital, because we are extremely overextended. We haven't seen a proper retracement happen, and I've said this so many times. The proper retracement will be down here in this red area, where I personally plan to begin buying very, very aggressively, because I believe this will be the higher low from this overall swing low. This will be the overall higher low from here. That will then push us up into much, much higher price territory, and the price can bottom out anywhere between 85 to 90K. But until then, I'm not shying away from any potential more upside, and I'll keep you guys updated on that position. Um, because as of right now, again, until we break below the swing low, I don't plan to get out of that position whatsoever. This is based purely off of still there's bullish momentum forming. We're not seeing the RSI max out up here too much. It doesn't really want to bottom out too much. Instead, it seems to want to push the higher end of it a lot more than wanting to come down. And we're holding most of the volume right now above the 120 moving average, which is very bullish. And again, higher lows is a really good indication as well. And for me to want to get out of this trade, it's got to break this swing low right here. The moment it breaks this swing low, I'm expecting the price to try to find support down here and then fluctuate within this area as it attempts to have a correction, because just like this big dip right here where we saw the price come down a lot and we saw imbalances being created, this shows probably a lot better on the 2-hour or the 4-hour candles, but it came up into the imbalance very well before consolidating a little bit. This is very similar to if the price were to come down into this blue area, max out the bottom of it, we're going to see a lot of imbalances form. And within those imbalances, you have chances for the price to balance itself out and, fill in liquidity where it most matters. And as, investors are buying and selling based off of where they've originally, got into the trade, the price could easily come up, as a correction. So it can look something like this where it comes down. It comes down. Imbalances form right here. Price comes up as a little bullish rally to factor in the overall move, fill in imbalance, and then it comes down back further into the red area before the price goes up much, much higher and, makes a new all-time high. But it's as simple as that, really. It's just taking proper position sizing where it matters. And right now, to me, where it matters most is we're showing that we're still holding bullish uptrends until we start breaking these micro supports. To me, this is micro support. It might not be for you guys, but I'm looking at overall bigger supports in the future. To me, this is micro support. If, once these micro supports starts breaking, then that's when I'm completely out of long positions until my next important, support, which will be at roughly 98.5K to trade a smaller, corrective pump, and then the price comes down, and this is where I plan to start aggressively buying so we can make a whole lot of profit on the way up. It's all about just trading these value gaps at the moment, right? When we have a high volume, just fluctuations, high volume indecisiveness in Bitcoin, it's all about capturing value gaps. And right now we have plenty of value gaps. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the price comes down to the 120 moving average to fill in this gap right here. We have imbalance, and then potentially try to, continue retesting these micro support or micro resistances as long as we're holding this uptrend. And, if we come down, SLs get triggered, then I'll be updating you guys on, my next trade, which should be down here. But as of right now, I'm just trying to, stay in with a tight stop loss, and, to stay in as we continue to retest previous swing highs and attempt to test the all-time high line up here. So until we have bearish momentum, there's no reason to not want to, be short-term bullish, but with, of course, again, a tight SL, because, we are responsible traders and we're not going to hold these short-term trades for too long when we understand that the overall next move is more likely to be down here, in this red area, where we can actually begin to be a lot more serious about taking longs with a lot more of a bigger position size as well. So yeah, hopefully this video made sense, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.